Welcome to the New Favorite Things podcast, episode number 51. Today we're going to talk about Google Jamboard, which is a great manipulative tool for your students in your classroom. It kind of combines the best of the smart software for your smartboard and Google Slides, and it's all Google integrated, and it's one of my absolute new favorite things. So inside of your G Suite 101 folder, or whatever folder you want to put this Google Jamboard into, you'll go ahead and navigate to that folder and click New, More, and then come down to Google Jamboard. Once you do this, it's going to pop up with a create in the shared folder. It's going to adopt all of the shared permissions that this folder has. I'm going to go ahead and click yes. I'm going to create and share. And now I have a Google Jamboard that currently has one slide on it and a blank canvas with no background. The most important thing about Jamboard is to consider, what are you using this Jamboard for? Is this going to be a collaborative activity where all of your students are in one location? Or is this going to be an interactive learning menu where each student is going to have their own individual document to work off of? So we're going to take a look at some of the different options. If you come up here to the big blue share button, and click on that, your Jamboard will default to the shared permissions of the folder that it is in. Currently, my folder has Stacy Roaming set up as a commenter, and it has the entire folder to be set up so that anyone on the internet with this link can view. But I want to specifically allow students, anyone with this link, to make edits to this document. I want it to be one document where students are able to collaborate together. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to click on Change. I'm going to say anyone with this link can edit. I can be a little bit more specific too, and I can say, instead of anyone with the link, I can say Granbury ISD people with this link can edit. And again, if I don't want them to have that edit access, I can go back to Viewer. So I've got this collaborative document where anyone with the link can edit, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Click Done. The next piece is trying to identify what you want your Jamboard to be. Jamboard is nice where you do have the ability to input some pieces to make it prettier. It is not as in-depth as Google Slides is, but I could say, move your sticky note to the side of the board that best fits you. And then maybe I'm going to have that here in the middle. Maybe I can add an image of do a Google image search and add a smiley face. Insert. And maybe I do another image and I do a frowny face. So now for students, when they get into this document, they can come in, they can drop in their own sticky note, and they can move their sticky note to the location that they want it to be. They can go back and forward, they can drag and drop, they can pull out the pen tool, and they can write in information. They can erase that information. They can drop in shapes. And then, as I showed before, those shapes, you can also drop in your images. So it's a great manipulative activity for your students to be able to drag things back and forth. You can set this up so that you have essentially a manipulative activity that is pre-prepared, and then students can interact with it. Again, you can also do this so that each student has their own individual copy of it. So to do that, you would use a learning management system like Google Classroom, where it would make a copy for each of your students for them. You can also come in here and you can add new slides. So if I have my first activity on my first slide, I can go to my next slide and put in my next activity. My next slide, I can put in my next activity. Maybe I have a math worksheet that I want my students to be able to show their work using the interactive drawing tool. I can take a snip of my problem, maybe from a star release text, and I can insert that image into my Google Jamboard. dropping that in. So here I've put in this activity, but you'll see it's movable. We can set this up so that instead of having a movable manipulative image on the background, I can set it up so that it is a fixed background. So instead of doing an insert image here, I can come up to set the background, come over to image, browse that computer that I have, and I can drop in the background that is not going to be movable. Students aren't going to be able to click in and move this around. They're not going to be able to erase anything on here. This is going to be a great way to do like a laminated mat for your activity. And then finally, you'll have a couple of options up here called the more actions. So students can come in here and they can download this document as a PDF. They can save an image as a frame. So if you have some students that are very artistically talented, they can come and they can use their fingers or a stylus and they can draw, and then they can save that image to their device. They can also come in here and they can make a copy. But here's a great resource for you as a teacher. You have the ability to see version history. And this is really important, let's say, for a student that maybe you don't trust 100% to be on this collaborative document. You can go in and click see version history, and every edit that is made, you can see who makes that edit. So if you have a student that has put inappropriate materials on your collaborative Google Jamboard, you have the ability to track down which student it was and have that documentation to submit to your administration. I hope that this was helpful. Be sure to check in our next G Suite 101 video topic, which will be on Google Sites. You can follow us on Twitter at GISD Tech 3 and at Coach Polano, and we'll see you guys next time.